Hi guys, let's make this fried stewed meat that you can nibble on with your drinks or you can have beside your food. It's so nice, so thick and so yummy. Let me show you how. You need some spices like onion, ginger, garlic and some other spices that I will put in the caption. What I'm doing now is to blend it together. I'm using wet spices as well. This really helps to amplify the taste. So put that in your blender as well as your dry spices, including pepper. Pepper is very important for this. Add in your ginger, garlic, salt and bouillon cube depending on the quantity you want to make, and add some water if you like, or you can use oil. I prefer to use water because I'm still going to fry the meat. Put it together and blend. This doesn't have to be smooth, it just needs to be blended and combined together. This is because the pepper I would use as well is not smooth, so it doesn't make a lot of difference. To your washed meat, pour in the blended spices and marinate. You should marinate for at least an hour if you have the time. And if you have a lot of time, this is actually going to bang better if you marinate it overnight. So pour in your spices, mix together with your meat and marinate. Once you are satisfied with the amount of marination you've done, pour it in a pot and let it cook. At this start, I am not putting in any water. I want the meat to cook in its own juices. This actually helps the spices to get into the meat better than when you pour water from the start. Keeping an eye on it, after about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the quantity of meat, pour in your water. I'm using this much water because I intend to use the meat broth. If you don't intend to, you should reduce the water and taste for spice as well to make sure that the spice is still good enough. To a pan, pour in some oil. Once it's hot, pour your meat in and let it fry. This is the point you let your meat fry as much as you want. So for something like fried stewed meat, the meat needs to be a little bit drier than the normal meat you'd put on jollof rice. Once one side is fried, turn to the other side and turn to as many sides as you have until the meat is well fried. Remove from fire. I'd advise you not to be like me. Reduce the fire before you pour the onion into the same pan. This would prevent the splashing around that you see. I am putting in my pepper mix now. The exact ratio is going to be in the caption. This pepper mix is actually a bit spicy, so depending on your spice tolerance, you can increase or reduce. But for this fried meat that you'd use for your drinks, it really needs to be a bit more spicy, so keep that in mind. Make sure it's well combined and then let it fry. You don't have to cover this because you need the water to evaporate, so keep stirring, keep an eye on it. After frying for about 5 to 10 minutes, I did go in with some spices. I would also link that in the caption, all the spices I've used. Put in your salt, put in your bouillon cube, but taste it to make sure that it's not going to be too much because the oil itself already has some due to the frying of the meat. Stir together and let it cook. Once the oil is already surfacing, that is, you can see the oil over the pepper, that's the point you then pour your fried meat back in. Stir, stir, stir. You need it to combine well. Keep stirring because at this point there is no longer water for it to cook, so it may burn if you don't continue to stir. Let it cook for about 1 to 2 minutes until it's well combined, and that's your nice simple meat nimble for your drinks. Enjoy.
Cook it yourself. Don't go back to basics.